Hey, best friends. I'm Claire.
I'm Yana.
I'm Giovanna.
Welcome to
My best friend's
Book
Club.
My best friend's book club.
We've never done it with 3 before.
We did a great job, everyone. Virtual high fives. That's right. If you're new here, we're a book club for readers and non-readers. We read books and we break them down by chapters each week. So if you're a non-reader, you can easily follow along with the book. And if you love to read, you can read with us. Just check out our reader calendar on our socials. And we're so excited to have the author of Confused Girl, Giovanna, on the podcast today. Thanks for joining us, Giovanna.
Yes, so happy to be here. Got the book right here.
Oh, heck
nice.
yeah. Some product placement. Get that in there.
Yeah.
How's it going? Is your holidays going well? Is the book tour going well? Like, tell us what's going on in your life.
Yeah, no, everything's going great. I actually did a book event at a winery 2 nights ago, and they let me stay, and they're amazing sweet. So I'm actually still here. I told them, I was like,
Wow.
I will leave today. I promise you, I'm not moving in permanently. I just have a podcast at noon. And they're like, oh yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
Squatters' rights. Stay in there.
I know. You're like, actually, just like, well, I'm not feeling very well today.
I know. Can you just stay here another night? I mean, it's so, oh my gosh,
we
the
love
bed
a
is
winery.
so comfortable, amazing wine. And even so Thursday night was the book event, which was so great. I met so many awesome people. And then last night they put a big screen down. It was like a movie night. And we watched The Holiday with of course, a glass of wine,
Jude
you know.
Law and Kate Winslet.
And Cameron Diaz and Jack Black.
Jack Black. Yeah.
Gosh, Jude Law. So, I mean, he was so handsome.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sponsor us.
Jude Law. I was going to say sponsor us. Jude Law.
Sponsor us. Okay, let's get into the book. Giovanna, before we get into questions, thanks for joining us, by the way. We really appreciate you taking some time and talking to us and writing this book and sharing your words with everyone. Why don't you share just like an overview of what the book is about, what people can expect, with Confused Girl?
Yeah, so first off, thank you. So happy to be here. Thank you, ladies. And yeah, the main theme of the book is that confusion is actually a virtue. So I'm confused, we feel like is a very ugly way of being or an ugly word. And this started out as a blog. It was called Confused Girl in the City. And then I created a yoga wear line, which led into the book. And all of that came out of being confused and trying to figure it out. So I'm like, confusion is actually a virtue because it gets you to start asking questions about your life. And gosh, now I'm like, ooh, why did this person come into my life? What is this supposed to teach me? Or what is this situation? Or why does life feel so stagnant right now? Or, whoa, things are moving really fast. So I consider confusion to be a virtue and a way to kind of look at your life as an investigator and forever curious about yourself and your life. And it was inspired by a depression I went through and how I was able to get out of that and then use my confusion to start figuring out my purpose in life and the kind of person I wanted to be and the things I wanted to do. And one thing I love that the feedback people give me is they feel seen, which means so much to me. I love hearing that. And also, it doesn't feel preachy. Because even these quote unquote gurus out there, they're confused too. They go through their moments of confusion. So I just kind of like share what has helped me. And also another thing, I don't think there's one right way of living life. I think we all come here and we have our own gifts and our own purpose, and we can all live our lives differently, and that's okay. If you're a woman that wants to have a family and you can stay at home, like amazing. If you want to have your career, if you want to travel the world and write books like me, great. I mean, it's all about finding your true nature.
It sounds like you also have found a way to be comfortable with confusion. When you get uncomfortable, you're like, oh, I don't like this. I need to change and just go back to what I know. But you just kind of like sit in your confusion until you like labyrinth your way through it, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like,
No, great. No, exactly. And the perfect example of that, a small little example is like, I don't know what I'm doing for the holidays. And then I was kind of reaching out to some people to see what they were doing or what I was going to do. And then it was like process of elimination. And for a couple of days, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I kind of got nervous,
Mhm.
about it. The holidays bring up a lot of stuff for
Yeah.
people, including myself. And so I was sad and I was nervous. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to let this unfold. I'm just going to let the universe show me where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do. And it's whatever that is, I accept it and I'm cool with it. And then after a couple of days, I was like, okay, got my plan. Cool. We're good. Great.
Okay, perfect. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
I like what you said about people's feedback that they felt seen, because actually after the first episode aired of Confused Girl Part 1, the feedback that I got from some friends that texted me and they were like, I feel so seen. That was exact words that they used.
Oh, I love that. I think that's
Mhm.
like the greatest compliment.
So the book is called Confused Girl. Is your intended audience like primarily women, or do you feel like the book can span other audiences? Or are you like, no, also I just want to say if it is for women, like we don't get a lot, so like give it to us, So
Also, we don't
I
have
was just
men.
curious though if you felt like it could span, if you had women in mind, or were you like, no, I feel like it could apply to anyone. It's just sort of like the concept of being a confused girl.
So that's a fun question because at my book talk the other night at the winery I'm still at, there was one man there,
Oh,
one man who read the book in a day and a half.
oh, what's up, guy?
I
Shout
know. It
out.
was really,
He's
it was,
single.
and it was I know. And he was, I mean, he's a man, like I think in his 50s. So I thought that was very interesting. And I mean, his wife read the book too, but he was the only man at this book club event. There was like 20 women and this one man. And he really loved it. He said it gave him some great insight to women. And he really loved hearing about the travel. And then he liked the advice as well. Like he enjoyed reading about that. And it's interesting because my dad said to me, my dad had a very thick Italian accent, and he was like, why is this only for women? Men need this. Men are confused. And so I actually called my publisher and I was like, my dad says men are confused and men need this. And she's like, honey, but women buy the books.
Mm,
That's a good point.
amen.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I was like, yeah, yeah. And also, I wrote it honestly when I was thinking about who this was for. It was for me when I was in a depression and all the things that I needed to hear. And it was almost kind of like going back in time and watching myself as I'm writing and seeing what she needed to hear. Because all of the books I was reading, I read a lot of self-help books when I was in my depression, and they were great. There's so many great self-help books, but very preachy. And I did not feel seen.
Yeah.
I felt like this is the way to do it, like student and,
Mhm.
authoritarian. And I just wanted this. I didn't want this to be that. I wanted it to be from one confused girl to the next, but with like some real practical tips that you could take. That's why I did the confused girl recap in the back
We
of
loved
each
that.
chapter.
Loved it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I wanted people to be able to go back and go, I don't need to read this whole chapter again, but okay, this is what oh, yes, yes, yes. And just remind yourself and be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's my list of things to do. That's so interesting. I didn't think about it like that. It's almost like we got to read your diary to yourself, you talking to your younger self. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But also, that's masculinity that I can appreciate. And I don't do that a lot. That is a level I'm okay with.
So you would say, do you feel like your audience is mainly women then? And it's like, but it also can work for some dudes too?
Yeah, I definitely think my audience is mainly women for sure. But like a lot of my male friends, they bought the book. So there are some guys, right? But I mean, it's very few. I mean, it's confused girl. So.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair.
You shared so many different types of self practice in the book. So I was just wondering kind of which one was hardest for you to maintain.
There's so many. Gosh, so much of this has marinated now in me. I don't even like, I really don't feel the emotions of shame anymore. But I felt so much shame before, like when I told you about the antidote where I put the invisible backpack on and then
Mhm.
I thought, imagined it going into the water, that really did take away my shame. I would say, if anything, I can still, when I'm feeling insecure or hormonal, I can still get into comparisons, and comparing myself maybe to other people or what I think I should have or what I think. But then I really do use the Huno Hawaiian blessing. Like I do. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Bless that, bless that, bless that which you desire. So, but I would say comparisons, I think, is something that kind of follows a lot of people through life. And you just have to really remind yourself that you are on your own journey and you don't know what's going on in other people's world. And I really remind myself of that. And then I'm like, good. But it takes like a little reboot. I got to like reboot the system.
Are
Yeah.
there different things that kind of can trigger that in you?
Well, I definitely think for me, it's really hormonal.
Plus
It's
one.
when, yeah. I mean, it's really like, I have to say, if I'm not hormonal, I'm not doing that. When I was younger, I would do it all the time, right? But now I'm older and wiser and wrote a self-help book. So I don't go around comparing myself all the time. But when, I'm PMSing or around ovulation, it can happen sometimes. And it also happens when maybe like something didn't work out for me or finances are tight or, there's some kind of stressor there. A guy ghosted me or whatever it is that happens to all of us. And then the hormones, and then it's kind of like, ooh, okay. Then you start thinking the grass greener.
Yeah.
But I know the grass is greener where you water it, 100%.
That's
Yeah,
funny
you-
that you bring up PMSing because we had this whole moment. I think it was in our first episode we read the first half of the book where we were like, listen, if we're on our periods, we are not going to go in the mirror and be like, your bloated belly's so beautiful. We were like, not today, confused girl. Like, I'm going to my couch and I'm going to be mad and I'm going to cry.
And I'm going to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Chocolate, pizza, and I just want to cry at commercials, and I don't want anyone to really talk to me. We'll text each other sometimes, and we'll just be like, "Hey, hate my life today," but we're just gonna pick up tomorrow.
But honestly, that is fine too. Like, I think I write that in the book too. That's fine too. Like to have your veg out days.
One of those reasons why I was like, maybe this book really is more for women because, like, womanhood is hard and it's specific, like, the reality is it's just very different to be a woman.
Yes.
Hormones. There's a lot of other things I'm not going to get into right now with, like, careers and families and stuff. But I was like, hey, I think it's kind of cool if it's like, guys, you can read this too, but it's like womanhood is so specific and it's okay if we have a book for us,
Yeah, exactly.
I think men are less honest about their veg out days because if you look at them on any dating app, they're like, hey, must go hiking every Saturday and Sunday morning at 4 a.m. And then we have to, just kayak down a river and then we have to rock climb. And if you can't do that, I'm not here for you. And we're like, hey, I want to watch reality TV sometimes.
Adventure men can be the worst sometimes.
Yes.
Like, can't
Oh
date
my
you
God.
if you don't snowboard. I'm like, bye, go snowboard.
Yeah. Snow is slippery, dude.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Hey, you know what? My friend said there's a lid for every pot.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think maybe some pots don't need a lid.
Hey, I agree. I totally agree with that.
I did resonate with your Italian heritage. I'm Italian Mexican, and the stuff you wrote about, like growing up Catholic and a lot of parts, I was like,
Yeah.
I feel that. Feel that for sure. Obviously, this is our first time like actually meeting, but the way you wrote the book, you seem so like calm and like, self-love. And I was like, how is she so calm? Like, I feel like I'm a spicy, crazy Italian woman. I'm gonna you're like, no, ho'oponopono. And I'm like, oh God. I was like, I have to take the opono.
Okay, wait, but this is the thing. If I was naturally very calm and not spicy, I wouldn't need Ho'oponopono.
This is true, because I need ho'opono.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I wasn't spicy, I wouldn't need all the things I read about in the book. So it's kind of like how to cool yourself down. So I'm a very spicy, feisty little woman, but that's why I needed this.
You know what? That gives me comfort. Thank you. Because
Yeah, I'd
I
actually
was
love
like,
to see the two of you in a room together.
Lots of personality.
she seems so calm. I was like, maybe it's the Irish in her that, but I was like, that doesn't make sense either. She's got to be
Yeah.
feisty, you know?
No, nope. I'm a feisty girl. I am. But also because this is a self-help book, I wrote it from like a higher self, like a higher perspective. But I'm not always living in that higher self, higher perspective. I mean, I try to, but I'm human.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I think I would believe you if you said you did, because that just
Yeah.
seems like too hard.
Yeah,
Things happen.
exactly.
Yeah. No, but look, Claire, I guess there's hope for you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. So, like, you have so many practices in your book, just like you said, there's so many. If someone, they were like, this is so much, but they could take one practice and apply it, which one would you recommend?
Oh my gosh. I cannot say what is number one because everybody's different. Everybody struggles with different things. Okay. So like maybe I struggle with comparisons. Maybe somebody else is like more about their shame. Maybe somebody else is like has an anger issue. Maybe somebody, it's like everybody has different things. But I will say the ritual that I wrote about how I realized after going on a bad date, because I'm intuitive, I would see myself. And because I was working through self-worth issues and trying to cultivate self-worth, those two things together, it's like I would see myself only through other people's eyes. I had a hard time just seeing myself through my eyes. It was like, if you thought I was amazing, then I'm amazing. If you thought I wasn't so great, I'm not so great. So like kind of living your life on this roller coaster of emotions. And I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done caring so much about what other people think of me. If that person doesn't think I'm great, who cares? There's billions of people out there. Some people are going to think you're great. Some people are going to think you're not so great. And so I had a really tough time when it came to dating men. Friendships and stuff are like meeting other women. Yeah, I would be a little sensitive about it, but it didn't matter so much to me as like dating men and what men thought of me or if they didn't call me again or whatever it was. So I had a locket, and when I tried acting in college, I had these really big headshots of myself. So my eye in the headshot was like big. So I cut out my eye and I put my eye in my locket. And then I went to Iceland and I wrote about this. And I was like, okay, on this trip, my intention is that I only want to see myself through my own eyes. And the second I start to do this whole, I'm seeing myself through somebody else's eyes, I'm going to take out my locket and just look at it. And it's a reminder. And I wore that locket my entire trip.
We remember the locket.
Yeah.
I was like amazed by your thought process. Like you wanted something tangible to like physically remind you of that. I was like, I would have never thought to do that. That's so cool. I didn't know it was like a headshot. That makes it better, honestly.
Yeah, because like pictures are too small to cut out the eye, so it was a headshot.
Okay, I envisioned you had like a little picture of yourself and you cut both of your eyes out and put it. That makes more sense.
I wanted to include a picture of the locket with my eye in it because I still have it and it still has my eye in it. And I was like, I want to include this so people get the visual. And then my publisher was like, pictures in the book, it's not a good thing, and I was like, oh, okay. But
you should post it on Instagram.
I know. Yeah, you know what? I should. I actually should.
I would love to see it.
I would love it to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Well, and I think I understand you're saying like you can't pick one. It's really based on the person. But I think that is like an important one for a lot of people, right? It's like when you can finally get to the stage where you stop comparing yourself to other people, it's incredibly freeing. It's very healthy. I don't know. Like I remember when I got there and I think I turned 30 and I just was like, I'm done. I'm the coolest girl ever,
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, it was like a switch where I just decided that I was a bad bitch. And and ever since that day, I just feel like life is easier and lighter and more fun.
So I guess like my question with that though is applying that to like when that criticism or comparison comes from those closest to you and maybe not like family. I mean, I think we all get really sensitive with what our family members say.
Yeah.
I come from a Slavic family that is very direct, and what sounds insulting is coming, like, they don't consider it insulting because it's just like, that's fact.
Yeah,
So like,
like,
how
oh,
do
you
you
gained
process?
weight.
Yes, it's
That's Italian too. Italians are like, oh, you gained weight.
And when you lose weight, they're like,
mhm.
Yeah.
But I think it's
Yeah.
easier for me, like, to kind of separate that with, like, men and dates and be like, well, like, I hate you too, sir. So I don't really care what you think about me. But when it comes from, like, your
Family.
mom or, a sister or something, I feel like that feels sometimes harder to be like, I don't really care what you think. So do you have those moments too where it's like harder to...
Well,
asking for a friend.
Not that it ever happened to me. Love you, Mom.
Me either. Love you, Mom.
no, my mom even said something like 3 months ago that was like, I was like, like what? But here's the thing, and my dad would be really brutal sometimes, just like so brutal. But I would have to go, okay, they're also coming from a different generation.
Yeah.
They didn't struggle with the things we're struggling with now. Actually, my parents are boomers, and boomers had quite a golden era. And, and they were like, oh, life's so hard. I work so hard. I'm sure they did, but like, at least you got somewhere. Like
Mhm.
now we have to work hard and we're just like treading water.
Yeah.
So I have to go, okay, they don't get it. And then it's kind of like, and you know what? I just don't care anymore what you think. Like, I don't. Like, love you, and then I kind of would turn it into a joke. Because I'm like a silly person. I'm a funny person. So I would just kind of be like, for instance, my old grandma in Italy. And she's like, oh, that person got fat. They used to be really thin. And I mean, it's kind of funny that they're just so blunt.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I kind of turn them into a little bit of like a joke. Like, it's funny.
Yeah. Also, our generation just doesn't, like, we talk about how it's not okay to comment on people's bodies, but that wasn't really a thing before. So
yeah,
I don't find myself, going to hang out with someone and immediately noticing their weight necessarily or thinking about it later. But then people in our parents' generation might, come home and be like, oh my gosh, did you see how much weight she put on? Or the opposite of like, oh my gosh, whatever she's been doing works because she is looking so good.
Good. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't shake your head at me, girl.
No, I'm just like, I'm shaking my head because I agree. Like, just don't talk about people's bodies, like in any capacity. Just don't do it.
But see how absurd that is? It's kind of like a lot of stuff that they may say may be absurd. We just take it emotionally because it's our family and we want acceptance and love and like constant approval from them. But then at some point, you just have to make peace with you might not ever get that and stop fighting for it. Just do you and be happy with you. I definitely got there with my mom and my dad.
Well, I think that actually leads into another question we had about while you were writing this book, was there any bad, in quotes, advice or less helpful advice that you received from people, not just family, but anyone? Was there anything that you were like, I'm going to, let in one ear out the other because this feels like it's not me?
So the part that I was writing about when I was working for Hollywood studio and I was the assistant to the director, and then the other assistant like sabotaged me and I got fired. So when I was writing that, and I hadn't thought about this in forever, and I got so angry. I was angry writing this, and it came through in the initial drafts, and they were like, listen, you sound angry here. We need to come from the hires. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. And I'm like, you know what? And honestly, the guy was insecure. And actually, I found out years later that the reason why he was such a jerk to me because his wife was cheating on him during that time. So so I think actually he wanted me to like be enamored with him.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting the validation from me, and his wife was cheating on him. So then I became the
Like a
scapegoat of that, I
target.
guess. Yeah, the target. Yeah. Yeah. So it really had nothing to do with me in the end. But while I was writing it, I got really angry with the way he treated me. And I had put stuff in and they're like, take that out. We don't, and like other things he did. And so the advice they gave me was really good though. how to soften that, because at the end of the day, it really, again, like it wasn't about me. And when I was writing it, I was making it about me. So that's actually something that they helped with.
Oh,
Interesting.
cool. You're like, I
Yeah.
want everyone to know what this guy did to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put him
I'm
on
like,
blast.
Mhm.
yeah, put them on blast. Like, it's my turn, baby.
Absolutely.
That'd be
Like
so cool,
Italian
though.
Vendetta coming out,
I
right?
love that.
Canceled. As we were reading your book too, I mean, there's just so many moments of like guidance and self-love practices. And so, you talk about like if people put their money towards what they value, like taking a less traditional path and not falling into like what we think is how you have to live life. But then we were kind of like feeling this tension because we felt like some people just don't have the luxury or opportunity, I guess you could say, of doing some of those things. So, and it could be extenuating circumstances, right? Like maybe you have a sibling who has special needs and you feel the need to use your money there or use your time there. With people who are struggling with those sorts of things, with these extenuating circumstances, but want to put into practice some of the things that you wrote about, what sort of advice would you give them in those like harder moments?
Well, like, first off, I mean, let's just take your example. They are doing what they feel is right and true by putting money into their family and helping their family. Even if it's hard and not necessarily the most enjoyable, it's still they're doing something that they feel is right in their soul. And there's something to be said about that. Like, that's a good person. And I would say I don't have like a ton of money. Like, you don't need a lot of money to find things that you enjoy doing. And if you don't know what you enjoy doing, honestly, Groupon has all these deals. And you can go on there and go, you know what? I'm going to try a dancing class, or I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try this activity or that activity. I mean, I did so many crazy things. Like I did the flying trapeze in Santa Monica. I went bungee jumping. And these were all through like Groupon, and I got deals on them. So you can find the deal. You can find something that you enjoy doing and then put your money into, hey, that's for me. That's something that I get to do. And that's something I'm investing in myself. Like even a little garden. It could be a little garden.
Kiana loves to garden.
I love to garden.
Yeah, my mom loves to garden.
Yeah. First of all, I forgot about Groupon, so thank you for that reminder.
I still use it.
I think for you, there's so much, the solo travel. I think that's kind of where my mind at least went to first. It was like travel can be so expensive, right? So
Yes.
it's kind of nice to also think about those smaller things like trying a new class or a workshop and getting those feelings with smaller financial commitments than something like travel.
Exactly.
I think it's okay to not take a traditional path. Like breaking your mind out of that mold is like so important. I think when you're saying what you're saying, a lot of people might be like, oh, but like I have to go to school and I have to get a job and I have to get married and I have to have kids. But it's like, actually, you don't have to do any of that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like,
Unless you want to,
Yeah.
it's
yeah, you could go to school, you could not, you could just start making a bunch of money and then just travel or do whatever, you want to do with whatever amount of money you have. Like you don't have to follow the societal structure that has been pounded into our brains. So
And even if you want to do the more traditional stuff, right? Like you can do it out of
Yeah.
order from what the society is telling us is the right order.
exactly. It's literally, I started solo traveling in my early 30s. So
Yeah.
my 20s was spent working really hard and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I wasn't traveling the world in my 20s. So there's different chapters of our life. I mean, who knows? My next chapter might be I get married and I have a kid, or it might not be, but I'm open and I'm not following anybody else's path. I'm following my own path.
Can you tell us about your anxious ego? I feel like I was having trouble wrapping my brain around this concept. It felt a little bit like fear-based thinking, but I feel like I didn't read it right. Like, can you just like explain what that is?
Give me context. What was around it?
You were saying fear of change and the anxious ego, and you had examples like, I can't do that. I've invested so much into where I am now. I'll hurt too many people. I'll be stressful if I stay put. So the way I read it, and like I said, I really think I read it wrong, so that's why I wanted to ask you about it.
Yeah.
It felt like fear-based thinking, but then
Yeah.
I was like, I get that that can prevent you from being opportunist or open-minded about things. But then there was also a part of me that was like, I think sometimes those kinds of thoughts can be helpful so that you think things through or you come upon a pitfall that you wouldn't have considered unless you'd had that thought. And so I was just like, I don't know if I fully understood the anxious ego and what we were letting go of.
Well, I think both of those things can be true at the same time. You
Yeah.
know, I think that you can listen, change is scary for everyone. It is. When things change really quickly for me, and it's scary. Like, even when my book came out and people were reading it, I didn't think I'd feel this way, but I felt very exposed for like a couple days.
Oh,
I was like, oh my God, like even intuitively, I'm like, people are reading my innermost, and I didn't
yeah.
think I'd feel that way because I'm such a sharer. And then I did, and because it was like a change, right? But then I got used to it and I was like, yeah, this is great. I love it.
Yeah.
I was like, I am the one to do this because I'm quite comfortable with being open and vulnerable. But yeah, so any change is a little jolt to the nervous system and it's scary. We're scared to do what we haven't done before. That's why you're a little nervous when you start a new job. And then after a month in that job, you're not scared anymore. It's kind of like you do it on autopilot. So I think so fear is okay and it's natural and it's normal. But if fear is consistently stopping you from what your heart desires, then that's what I'm talking about, the anxious ego. It's not necessarily not thinking things through in a rational, foundational way. That's a different thing than thinking it through because you're scared. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what are people going to think? Who cares
Yeah.
what
Who
people think?
cares?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like things that are important. Okay, financially, can I do this? And I talk about this. I say, financially, you need to be responsible. You need to make sure that you're okay. But it's like assessing risk, it's following your intuition. Sometimes, and I was talking about this to the owner of this winery. So she's a very successful real estate agent, commercial real estate agent. Her and her husband bought this property. And, she's like, I don't even know what I'm doing. This was just a dream to like have a winery and then they built this structure that I'm staying in right now and which was like super expensive. And then it was like tough to get it going because they built it in a time when it's like you had COVID and, just lots of stuff happened. And so she's like, there were times when I didn't even know if I was going to have enough money in the bank to do payroll.
Oh, wow.
And it's very scary,
Yeah.
right? So she actually said to me, she's like, I so relate to what you're talking about going on a limb and doing something because there were times when I was really scared about this place and like how I left the country and just was like, I don't have a publisher, I don't have an agent for my book, but I'm going to write this book. But I knew I could financially take care of myself. Like I knew I wasn't going to be homeless in Indonesia. But I didn't go to Paris. I went to Indonesia because it's less expensive.
Yeah.
And I knew I could do that there.
Mhm.
So it's about like assessing all of that stuff, doing what makes sense, but also following your heart.
Do you feel like there's levels of confusion in being a confused girl? Because, like, when I was reading it, I was like, I feel like I'm level 1 confusion, and you're like master confusion level. I was like, I'm confused. She's not confused.
I think that the more you get to know yourself and you have self worth, the confusion doesn't hurt. I think in the beginning, if you don't have like a good amount of self esteem, then confusion really hurts because you feel like there's something inherently wrong with you, that things aren't working out or you don't have the answers and you don't know what you want to do. Initially, it's hard, right? But then as you like move through it, and you get to know yourself and you have a good sense of self-worth, then you're like, okay, things aren't working out for me right now. I'm a little confused about what my next move is here, but I know I got this. I'm going to ask some questions. I'm going to figure this out and I got this. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
If the confused girl inside you could leave one voicemail for your future self, what would she say? I wouldn't know how to answer that.
Me either, honestly.
I would say keep having fun. Even when life is like really tough, get out a bottle of wine, turn on some music, dance around the house. You know what I mean? It's like, don't
Yeah. No.
do it.
So we saw you did a lot of interviews at like podcasts and other places. Is there a question that you wish somebody would ask you that you haven't been able to answer and you just like really want someone to ask you this question?
Oh my God, no. I can't think of one. I've been on a lot and I've been asked a lot of questions, so I don't think so.
I think that means we've all done our job. Good job,
Yeah,
everyone.
you guys did. Good podcasters.
We wanted to do a quick little fun lightning round with you. Like the thing that comes to your mind first, like boom.
Okay.
Lightning
Yes.
Round. Go.
Yes.
Kindle or physical book?
Physical book.
Fantasy or real life?
Real life.
Airbnb or hotel?
Depends.
Okay.
Is it a 5-star hotel? Hotel.
Okay. Aisle seat or window?
Window.
Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Carry on or checked bag?
Carry on.
Call or FaceTime?
Call. I hate the way I look in FaceTime. I hate the way I look in FaceTime. I'm always like trying to catch the light, you know?
Angle.
Yeah.
Online shopping or in store?
Online.
Chronically underdressed or overdressed?
Oh, I'm probably overdressed.
I can't relate.
Same.
Trapped in an elevator or stuck on a suspension bridge?
Elevator.
More time or more energy?
Energy.
Cooking or takeout?
Takeout.
The power to always know when someone is lying or to always have to tell the truth?
Always have to tell the truth because I pretty much do that already. So,
And then last one, to have unlimited knowledge or unlimited creativity?
ooh, this one is a hard one because I feel like those go in, like they're kind of interconnected. Maybe knowledge.
I was like, you have to pick one.
That was fun, you guys. Thank you so much. That was so fun.
That was really fun. So everyone pick up a copy of Confused Girl by Giovanna.
Yes, it's a beautiful book. It's like a rose quartz crystal.
I told you, Yana. I was
You
like,
did.
her
You
book
did.
is
Clear
like the rose quartz crystal, like the cover.
I had it on Kindle, so I didn't really look at that. But with Claire doing so much of the social media and, you know, really getting a photo of the book, she pointed that out. And I was like, oh, yeah.
I know, isn't that cool?
And actually, speaking of which, we made you a little piece of digital art based on your rose quartz crystal. And we like how you called yourself like woo woo. So we're going to send that to you after as just like a thanks for coming on to the podcast. So do with it what you will, but we just wanted to give you something as a
Aw.
token of our gratitude. So
You guys are so sweet. I appreciate you. Thank you.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
we really appreciate you coming on here and taking the time with us. So everyone, follow us on your favorite podcast streaming platforms. Tap that 5-star like you've just bought Giovanna's book.
Yes.
Because you should read it. And we just love to read. So remember, dear friends.
Always read. What do I say again?
Keep on reading.
Keep on reading.
There you go. And staying confused.
So confused.